Off the Highway's back again, and it's back with Dr. Paul Metzger, my old friend. Dr. Metzger's got a new book called Evangelical Zen, a Christian spiritual travels with a Buddhist friend. And Dr. Metzger, I know here's a book about you traveling with a Buddhist friend and sort of the spiritual journey and responding to each other. And previously you wrote a book called Connecting Christ on a similar theme about connecting across traditions. I'd just like you to talk about sort of the concept of common ground. And how should that affect our relationships as we walk out in the world?
Well, I think we live more and more in many contexts in gated communities, and not just people who are literally in physical gated communities, but I think ideologically, spiritually, and the like. It's very hard to find the kind of common ground that I believe you envision, that you seek to embody in your own context, Tony. And so that's a burden. It was a burden of Abbot Kyogen Carlson's and mine. And we were brought together back in 2003, and it was around the fatal shooting of Kendra James, who was shot to death by a police officer, white police officer. She was African American. City of Portland, you know the story well. And religious leaders, police leaders, other leaders were brought together in these small groups. It was part of an effort that was spearheaded by a national organization to try and get us beyond our disparities and the hostilities and the pain, and we could even say ideological gated communities. And how could we work together? And for all our differences from one another, Abbot Carlson and I had similar approaches to how we engaged. And I often use the language of going through our convictions, not around them, and not stopping short until someone holds my position. I won't listen to them. No, that's not right. We need to go through our convictions, not stop short, not go around them where we just kind of, put them under the carpet or just leave them at the door, but no, go through them. And so in answer to your question about common ground, we came to really draw from even Dr. King's statement or theme or his value about beloved community. And he talks at length about moving beyond tribalism. And I believe the Bible is about moving beyond tribalism. If it's to be about the kingdom of God is about people from every tribe, tongue, nation coming to know Christ, surely that's going to have some bearing on engaging people who don't seek to honor Christ explicitly, but may still in some ways with their lives seek to honor him or are honoring him. And even those who dishonor him, and I often dishonor him, how can we be brought together because we're creating the image of God, we have that inherent dignity and worth, and we also share brokenness together. And our humanity is a frail humanity. It's a fragile, though it's also a very beautiful humanity. And how do we flourish together? And so it's a burden theologically, biblically, existentially, and culturally because our culture is just breaking apart in so many ways. It's increasingly pluralistic. And hopefully that would be a place where we can actually seek to move toward greater intentionality, that we need to work together. But so often we use those differences as ways to push away from one another. And how do we navigate these cultural complexities? And I look at it as a great challenge, a great opportunity, but it is exhausting in many ways, but hopefully it's a creative exhaustion.
One of my favorite C.S. Lewis quotes, and I won't get it exactly right, is that the essence of friendship is not that we have all the same answers, but that we agree upon the same questions. And when I read Evangelical Zen, I watch you and Kyogen just processing the same questions together and with such sort of lightness of heart and generosity. So everybody, the book is Evangelical Zen by Dr. Paul Metzger and Kyogen Carlson. Go check it out. This is Off the Highway.